Okay, I am so excited. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Kate got the Gleams like gold and blue memo.
Tried
Look at
to.
those shoes.
Thank
right?
you.
Okay, this is a real treat. If you don't know about Kate, you've really missed something huge. Kate the Chemist, right? Who has children that know about Kate the Chemist, right? How many of you know about Kate the Chemist? She's everywhere, right? And so we, Notre Dame, had this great fortune to be able to create a position to bring Kate here after a decade, right? Is that right? At UT Austin,
Yep.
Teaching there, and now she's here. So why did you come to Notre Dame?
Oh man, it has to do with your dean. So Dean Santiago Schnell recruited me after I came here for a Christmas lecture. So December of 2023 was in Jordan, blew a bunch of stuff up. I thought it went really well. Like I was very proud of how I did. Get home, I'm call my agents. I was like, I crushed it. Yeah, I did a great job. 10 p.m. at night, I get an email from the dean's team, and they're like, the dean wants to meet with you. And I was like, how am I in trouble with the dean at a different university? I don't even work here. So I go in the next morning. I kind of thought he was going to give me a bill, honestly. I thought he was going to charge me for something.
Did you start something on fire?
Well, such a mess. I made such a mess in Jordan. As expected, I was supposed to. We cleaned it all up, it was fine. But he offered me a job, and he said, we want you to be the first in the United States, the professor for the public understanding of science. Totally played to my ego, was like, let's do this big. We have money here at Notre Dame where we could support you and support your dreams, and you can blow up the biggest explosion you ever want. And I was like, let's do it. And so this past September, I joined, and I'm super excited to be faculty here. Yay!
Does anything like this exist anywhere else?
Yes, it does.
But not as cool.
Well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So it actually started in Oxford. So in 1995, Richard Dawkins, an evolutionary biologist, pretty famous, might have heard of him before, but they give him this title. And he was working there for about, I don't know, maybe like 13 years or so. And he would talk about science and try to get people engaged with science. And then in 2008, Marcus de Santo took over. He still holds the role right now. He did a lot of stuff with BBC News. He writes a lot of books. And he just toured a play in India about the intersection between math and music. So he's a very creative guy. I just spent a week in London with him trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. He gave me a lot of great advice. And so now I feel like I know exactly what I need to do here in campus.
So what's the first thing you're going to do?
Oh, I'm going to blow up some things for you all. Is that? But it was just kind of how to approach the science communication minor we're thinking about, how we could potentially use our studio in a different way, how we can tap more into the art. So it's just a really great conversation with a lot of different directions we can take it. It just depends on what you all want to do and what we want to do here on this campus.
Okay, so two things you said there. I'm going to deviate a little from the script, right? Because about this intersection, right? And so previously, it always felt like when I was growing up, just a few years ago, everything was kind of in its own silo, right?
Yeah.
And then you talked about the intersection, and he was doing some things with the intersection. What about that? What does that look like for you?
Well, I honestly, maybe 10 years ago, I was very resistant to it. It was STEM, not STEAM, right? So science, technology, engineering, and math, and then we add the A in there for arts. And I was really adamant that there was no arts, no arts. But now that I look at it, everything I do has a creative element, every single thing. And I talked to an astronaut agent, by the way. She represents astronauts. She was telling me that every single one of her clients has a massive creative outlet, and they're usually really, really good at playing the violin or drawing or painting. And so now that I'm looking at it, every scientist I talk to has a massive creative outlet, but we bury it deep down inside, and we just walk around with our calculator and hide our paintbrushes. And so what I'm trying to do is use these wonderful things, and we'll talk about the studio in a second, but use these different spaces to actually tap into that side and show that it's a blend. We do not need to be siloed. We can all work together and just kind of come up with the best product.
I love that.
Thank you.
So Kate is also a celebrated author.
Yes.
Tell them a little bit. I mean, you've been on TV, you've been on talk shows, you've blown things up on late night shows.
Yeah, Colbert, that was fun, super stressful. Yeah, I had a 5 a.m. call time, and they actually did it at 5:30 p.m., so I was there all day. They actually sent me home for 1 hour because Jon Stewart was coming, and they didn't know if I could keep a secret. So I remember going back to the hotel room and like trying to take a nap, and I just laid in bed with the sheets pulled up, and I just stared at the ceiling for an hour, and I was so stressed out, but I didn't light them on fire, and all the fireworks were good, and it was great. But that was 2018, so it's been a minute for that. But you asked about books. I have 7 children's books. I have 1 for adults. I host a podcast for NPR. It's called Seeking a Scientist, where I get to ask all of these amazing questions to brilliant, amazing scientists. We are now going to start featuring more Notre Dame scientists on the podcast, so I'm excited about that for season 3. But our last episode of season 2 drops next week. It's on memory, so if you want to know how your memory works, or if you're getting older, how it's not working so much.
Don't
not
look
you.
at me.
I looked past you to that person. So if you want to know how that works, you can check that out. But yes, the TV stuff is really what I'm known for. So I go on national TV about every 6 to 8 weeks. The goal is to kind of show up and then hide, show up and then hide. So I'll name drop for a second. I just did a media tour with Today's Show. We did Neil deGrasse Tyson, Sherry Shepherd's show. We were supposed to do NBC Nightly News, but Real News got in the way, so I got bumped for that one. But I've been on Kelly Clarkson, Amy Poehler, The Talk, Rachel Ray, Nick Cannon, Wendy Williams. I'm sure I'm missing some. Did I say Amy Poehler? She was awesome too.
I bet that was fun.
Oh, Amy Poehler is awesome. Are you Parks and Rec fans at all? Okay. She is Leslie Knope. Like, she absolutely is. Leslie's just a higher kind of amped up version of her, but those mannerisms, like the she does that, and I'm just like, ah. And Kelly Clarkson sang to me. We did science, and she's singing during a break, and I was like, just don't stop. Please don't stop singing. It's the most beautiful. She's exactly who you want her to be, too, like the most down-to-earth person. So I really, really liked working with her.
I was just thinking the same thing about you.
Oh, that's nice.
You're just who we want you to be. Okay, so you talked about the studio.
Yes.
So talk about the evolution of what made you set the studio up, what it looks like, and what you're going to do with it.
So when y'all were recruiting me, I was like, I need a space. I need a maker space to create my big demonstrations where it's safe, where I can have all my acids and my flammable containers. I just need to have a safe place for it. And we landed on what we are now calling the ND STEM Studio. And it opened this morning. I literally was in there at 9 a.m. blowing stuff up for 45 minutes. I was so excited. Woo! And so it's the coolest thing. So it's a wet lab. So I've got a 4-foot hood. There's a switch on the wall that can suck all the fumes out when I made a big mess, which I did this morning. And it just went, sucked everything out, and then boom, we could start over. There's a massive truss in there. So think a big cage. And then on the cage, I've got 3 huge cameras that track me. So as I move around, they track me. I don't have to do anything. We don't have to have an engineer there, so I can just move around. We've got a top-down camera. I have a top-down camera. And so they can see exactly what I'm doing. There's a 110-inch monitor behind me. There's another massive monitor in front of me so we can see all the angles. It is literally the space I have wanted my entire life. When I walked in there, they had cameras on me, and of course I just start crying hysterically. I'm like, this is everything I've ever wanted. You're making my dreams come true. And so hopefully now I can give back to our community. We can use science to serve the people. And so I'm just really excited about the opportunities there. So give me like a year, and I think we're going to have some great videos coming out of that place.
I love this. Okay, you had a phrase there, use science to help the people.
Yeah.
Who are the people?
Everybody.
What are you going to do with this?
Everybody. So with the studio itself, we will be revamping the YouTube channel. So we'll have a bunch of different scientists in there. I'm going to work with the extroverts first, the ones who are comfortable being on camera, and then we'll kind of wiggle in there and see if we can pull an introvert out of their shell. But essentially, I'm going to try to work with the scientists here, help them with their science communication skills if they need it. Not all of them need it. Some of them really need it. But I try to help with that, and then use these videos we create to share it with literally everyone. I say the American people, but the goal is to go international here. So I don't know if you all know this, except for I know you all know this, but our rankings internationally are not where they should be, in my opinion. So we're something like 18 nationally, and Michigan is 20-ish, something like that. When we go internationally, Michigan goes up 1, we go up 170, which is just crap. Like, honestly, I just had to filter. I almost said a really, really bad word. Okay, so
I like that.
But it's not good. It's not true. I do not believe that there are 170 schools internationally that are better than us, but only 1 with Michigan. So what I'm hearing is people don't know about the cool science happening on our campus. Like, that's what I hear. So what we can do with these videos, with the YouTube channel, is just show people what we're doing, become the nation's experts for science. I didn't even tell you the best part about the studio. Because we have this great partnership with NBC because of football. Have you heard of the football program here? Okay. So always comes back to football here. I'm learning that about this campus. But because of this strong partnership with NBC and my strong partnership with NBC through the Today Show and other part like NBC Nightly News, we're merging these. And so like the Today Show or anybody with the NBC network can tap directly into the studio. So let's say for the best week of the year, which is Nobel Prize week. Good, okay.
I was thinking that.
You were thinking it. You were there with me. But for Nobel Prize week, we get up early. We're going to hear the announcements. I'll have a couple scientists there. We'll talk through it. We'll kind of figure out how to explain the prize. 60 seconds is all we need. Today's show taps into our studio. We explain the science to the American people instead of Al Roker or Craig Melvin or Savannah Guthrie, all amazing anchors, but not scientists. And so we can then share the science with the people. We don't have to leave South Bend. We can go right back to the lab, and hopefully they will start calling us, not Harvard, not Stanford, none of those losers. They're going to call Notre Dame scientists.
You know, I suddenly feel like I have no energy.
That's saying something.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, so I'm curious. You know, as I was thinking about, you know, your moniker, Kate the Chemist, right? I was thinking about like over in other countries, Catherine the Great, right? People, yeah, exactly. and how those, and I remember asking a professor one time, how do you get to be the Great or Ivan the Terrible, right? So like which direction do you go and how do you claim it? He said, well, first of all, you got to have a bigger place than Notre Dame, right? You got to have a whole country. But Kate didn't have a whole country, and everybody knows who Kate the Chemist is. How did this come about?
Well, it started off by marrying a man with the last name Biberdorf, and nobody knows how to say that. And so in 2018, I got a call. So I'll give you like the real story. So in 2018, I got a call from a guy who lives in LA. Bill and I had just made a bunch of people upset. So he went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner with a climate change denier. Everyone got all mad at him, which I think was totally unfair, because how are you ever going to change someone's mind if you don't sit down and have a conversation with him? But anyway, the science community got really mad at him for a minute, and people started looking for the next Bill Nye. And so I had just had this small little photo shoot in Austin. They had this incredible picture of me breathing fire, and they had said the next Bill Nye. So when people Googled that, that picture showed up with that title, and I flew, and so they called me up, said, come on out here, we think you're next Bill Nye, which I didn't believe, but I flew out there, refused to get in a car with this man, because I was convinced he was going to kidnap me and take me to who knows where. But I was there for a week. I ended up signing with United Talent Agency, and in those conversations, we decided that Biberdorf might not be the way forward. So kept the man, lost the last name, and so rebranded as Kate the Chemist. So since 2018, that's really where it came from.
That's a great story, right? That's a great story. Well, but by the end of the weekend, I'd like you guys to propose some names for me.
I've been told that I have some volunteers somewhere. Where are that? Right here? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is kind of go through the line. I really want to start with one that I just did on the Today Show a couple weeks ago. I'd never done it before, but I really enjoyed it. So I need one of my volunteers to come up here. So who's my first volunteer? Do we know? That's... Okay, come on up here. Okay.
That's great. Yeah.
All right, so for this one, you don't need any PPE, but I feel like we should make you wear goggles just for fun. Okay.
I'm a process safety engineer.
Oh, you're a safety engineer? Okay, so put the goggles on. Of course I did that. Oh, that's so funny. All right, so this is something I got to give a shout out to my husband for because he helped me make this. And so what we did is we took a 2-liter soda bottle, and then I took a 3/4-inch PVC valve. If you're going to do this at home, make sure you don't have the treading on it. You want it to be the smooth kind, and I'm blanking on the actual name of that, but that's okay. Then I take a fill valve here. We drilled a hole in this and then stuck it in there. We then glued it on, so these two pieces came together. And then we glued the soda bottle in at the bottom as well. So it's a really easy thing to make. You just kind of need a drill. And a husband, apparently. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is now take this PVC pipe, and I'm going to give you these pom-poms, and you get to take about 40 seconds to get as many of these in there. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, good. So then while he's doing that, I'm going to start filling up our soda bottle. Which one should I use? I'm going to use this one. Okay. So what I'm using here is a bike pump, okay? And I'm aiming for about 20 psi. It takes about 40 seconds, so that's going to be our time frame here. La, la, la. When I did this on the Today Show, I pre-pumped this. Hold on 1 second. It's not going up for me. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay, so when I did this one on the Today Show, what is happening? Now it's going. Okay. I was like, oh man, if my first experiment doesn't work, that's really a letdown. Okay, when I did this on the Today Show, I had this pre-pumped, so I filled it up to about 20 psi, and then I had it sitting right here. It was the very last one we did, and we walked over to do the thing, and Craig Melvin picked it up. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's someone who just got promoted up to take basically Hoda's spot in the Today Show. He picked it up, and through his earpiece, I was standing right next to him, I could hear them screaming, put it down, that's a bomb. And so if you look, if you watch the segment, he picks it up, and then you see him go like, ah, and he chucks it down. And it's so funny because he obviously did not share with the audience what just happened, but in his ear, I could just hear it just screaming at him. And it's not like a bomb, but I mean, it's not, It's totally safe, though, so don't worry. All right, how do you feel? Do you have some in there?
Yeah.
Enough? What do you think?
Both sides.
Yeah, great, I love it. Okay, so what is your name? Tony. So Tony, you're just going to stand there and make sure we're safe. Looking good. Okay, good. So I'm going to aim this out towards the audience. Who wants to get hit with pom-poms? Should I just kind of do like one of those? All right, should we try like a 1, 2, 3, go Irish? Will that work? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go Irish! All right, give it up for our safety engineer! Thank you, Tony. Amazing job. That's a souvenir for you. You may keep those if you would like. I originally said I was going to do confetti, and then I walked in here, and I was like, they will kill me if I do that. So we pulled the pom-poms out. Okay, so that's your first one. Very simple, but it's a way to embrace engineering. Hopefully you can see how we could potentially like do an experiment with that. We could bring kids in and have them even change the thing because it's totally safe. But it's just a way to kind of grab kids' attention. Let's move on to something a little bit more flammable. Who wants to learn how to breathe fire? Yes? Okay, I'm not allowed to have a volunteer for this one, but I'm going to show you how to do this. So there are no kids in the room, so I'll actually tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so this is flour. Flour shouldn't work very well, but I like to use it as a way to kind of give you a frame of reference. So what I'm going to do is basically take a big bite. I'm going to breathe it over a blowtorch, and we'll see a combustion reaction if it ignites. Flour usually doesn't ignite. If you want to do this one at home when you're practicing, always, always, always practice with old flour first, okay? When you get good at that, you can move up to 00 flour. That's your good flour. You want that one. No, just ask your Italians why. Okay. But then, then you'll move on to the next one, so I'll get that in just a second. So let's start with this guy. What you will do for technique, if you do this, and by the way, my lawyer makes me say, do not do this at home, but if you want to do it, big mouthful, lunge forward, and you're going to just kind of spit with all your might. So like I said, this one shouldn't be too much. That's way better than it usually is. Anybody else have a bar on their teeth for orthodontics? No? This forms like a really nice paste that I get to eat for the next 3 minutes there. All right, so now the good one. So once you've mastered flour and you feel pretty good about that, that's when you move on to cornstarch. Fresh cornstarch, my favorite brand is Arlo. You're going to, yeah. Probably fine, but why risk it? All right, so we'll do it again, and I'll do this one twice for you so we can kind of see it both directions. Here's your first one. We'll go nice and small. All right, one more. This way, coming right for you, ma'am. Don't move, though. Okay. Let's see. We should go big, right? Let's try to go big. It's Notre Dame. Let's do it. Oh, come on! Oh, I just need you to cheer, so I have just a second to get that all out. If you do this, you need to have water nearby. I did this one time. So I get my energy from Diet Coke. I'm just constantly drinking it. It's unhealthy. Don't do it, but that's what I do. So one time I forgot to bring my water bottle up, and I was like, I'll just use the Diet Coke, no problem. Took a sip. What's in Diet Coke? Carbonation. And it's one of the most carbonated beverages. It mixed right with the cornstarch and just, boom, shot out of my mouth. I had no control over it. I really looked like I had rabies, and then I was like trying to figure out like what to do. Thankfully, it was just in front of a bunch of elementary kids, but they had fun with that. All right, now I'm looking for my next 2 volunteers, and I should clarify that for my 2 volunteers, you've got to be okay with fire. Okay, come on up. Perfect. Come on up. All right, so I'm going to have you in this one, and yes, you in this one. We need some goggles on. Yes, safety first, for real though. That honestly is a big fear of mine. I never want a kid to see me do something on TV and then go like, well, Kate did it, and then they stick their hands in liquid nitrogen or something, so I would hate that. So I am really, really on top of safety, and so hopefully you'll never see me do anything unsafe on camera. For a moment like this, maybe I'll flirt with it a little bit, but I just don't want kids to be hurt. Like, wouldn't that be terrible, right? All right, so we've got that. Now we need gloves. Do you know your glove size?
I'm a large.
Probably large. I don't have extra large today, I'm sorry.
Large should work.
Large should work. I've worked on, well, The Talk's over, but I used to do a show, The Talk, and they have that ex-NFL player, Akbar, on there. He had a 3XL lab coat I had to get specially ordered for him. He had double XL gloves that he could barely get his hands into. I felt so bad for him, but he always wanted to do the most dangerous stuff. So I was like, all right, we got to get you suited up. So he was awesome to work with. Really, really enjoyed it. All right, so what you just saw was a combustion reaction, right? I used flour and I used cornstarch. Both of them have carbon. Which one do you think had more carbon, flour or cornstarch? Cornstarch, right? The more carbon you have, the more energy stored within the bond. So when you release that, it comes out in the form of thermal energy, which we feel in terms of heat. Did anybody actually feel the heat from the fire? How far back I'm just curious. Pretty far. Oh, that's cool. All the way in the back? Yeah, okay. Amazing. So that's an exothermic reaction. So it gives off heat, and then you can feel the heat. So what I want to do now is prove to you that the more carbon you have, the bigger the fire you're going to have. Which one of you is braver? You. Okay.
Fair.
Go to here in the middle. All right, so I just want to check safety, goggles, gloves, lab coat. We got it. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the whole thing. If you have any questions, just let me know, okay? So you're going to open up your bottle. We're going to pour the liquid into the big bottle, and then your palm's going to go on top. Once you're done with the little bottle, you can pass it down to me. And then go ahead and cover the big bottle. So I want our dominant hand on top. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put my right hand. Are we all righties? Perfect. Drop that one. And so what you're going to do is pick it up just like this. Perfect. Use your other hand on the bottom. Amazing. Turn to the side. Step back carefully. We don't want you to slide. Give yourself a little bit of space. And now we're going to shake, 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 shake. Yes, yes. Amazing. Okay, what's your name?
I'm Charlie.
Charlie. Everyone say hi, Charlie. And what's your name? Kristen. Say hi, Kristen. Beautiful. All right, so Charlie and Kristen are going to show off their dance moves. We really need to do 3 big shakes here, okay? So 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. 3 rotations, spin it. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Most important part, come over to the table. Flip it upside down. Your palm will get wet. That's totally normal. Once you feel that liquid spin, 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 we're looking for a noise. I got mine. I hear yours. Do we have a noise from you, Kristen? Flip it around. Spin. Perfect. That's good. And then flip it around. Keep your palm on top. Amazing. And go ahead and put it down. Perfect. Cool. So now, what I'm going to have you do, Charlie, I'm going to have you take your left hand, and you're going to cover mine. Awesome. All right. We're going to slide you down like this. I want you to actually move your body physically to stand right here. And then I'm just going to, for no reason at all, get your hair. We're going to just shove it in there, okay? All right.
I'm okay, right?
Yeah, you said it. I wasn't sure. I wasn't going to go there. All right, so you're going to stand right like this. You're fine. You're going to stand just like this. I'm going to do two things over here. You don't move. You don't do anything. You just stay here, and you stay calm. Can you do that for me? Okay, cool. Literally just don't move. Now I'm going to have you spread out as much as you can. Okay, you might need to increase your leg stance there. Perfect. So I'm going to play with fire on this side, and you're going to keep that hand there. So just to be clear, this hand stays, this hand moves. Okay. So I will go 1, 2, 3. All you're going to do is step back. That's it. What you are not going to do is step back and then fling the fire cannon at the safety engineer. Okay? You're keeping us safe? Yes. Okay, here we go. Are you ready, Charlie? You ready, girl? Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Simple, okay? That's 1 carbon. That's the lame one. We'll put her over here. All right, we'll slide down. This is 2, so now we're going to ethanol. Ethanol is what's in beer, vodka. It's what you drink if you drink, okay? 1, 2, 3, and go. Oh, that was good. That was good. All right, Charlie, why don't you come over here? We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and I want you to just take a couple steps back. Just don't run, though, okay? 1, 2, 3, and go. Perfect. Stay. I think he was coming at me. Woo-hoo! Give it up for my volunteers! Nice job, guys. Gloves off. Throw it right in the trash, and you can just take your stuff and put it right there whenever you got it. Cool. All right, so what do you think? More carbons, the bigger the fire or the smaller the fire? Bigger, right? 1 carbon was methanol. It was a little bit of a longer burn, okay? The ethanol was a little bit faster. Propanol, which is rubbing alcohol, was much better. I actually buy rubbing alcohol from like a CVS or a Walmart because it burns better than the stuff I can buy from a real chemistry lab. So if you were to do it at home, just make sure you get the 99%. Okay, so also, too, like just if in case you do this at home, make sure you get these high quality ones. You can see it's like pretty decent plastic. The bottom can blow out on these if you get the cheap ones. So if you're spending like $7, maybe a little bit more on that, okay? All right, so I think we're done with fire, but now I want to switch over to show you something with a catalyst. So my research was all about using catalysts, so I love using them. So I can take one more volunteer. Do we have a volunteer? Do we have another one? Come on up for me, please. Goggles, glue, and then we need gloves. Do you happen to know your glove size? Large, perfect. And why not? Let's just put you in a lab coat because you're doing everything else, right? Yeah, everyone else got to. We'll put this on you. And what's your name? Maggie. Hi, Maggie. How are you? Good. How are you? Good. Okay, we got this one there. We've got, did I give you gloves? Yes. You got gloves. Okay, perfect. We're doing elephant's toothpaste. Have you heard of this one? Did I hear someone say no? Oh my gosh, I don't think that's ever happened before. I feel like everyone knows this one. Okay, ha ha ha, I'm so excited to teach you. So, what I have here is my little black lockbox. There's a reason why. So what I'm going to use here is hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is light sensitive, so if I kept it out under these bright lights, our reaction wouldn't be as big. My peroxide has been pretty hot lately, so I'm not able to do the big one because I genuinely am afraid it would hit the ceiling. So we're going to do the smaller one of the two, so it should go out, okay? So when I have a really big container, it's going to shoot up. For this one, it should go out. Should, okay? This is my disclaimer of I really don't think this will hit the ceiling, but we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. It won't. All right, so what I want you to do is open this up and very carefully just pour it in here. We are using 35% peroxide, so we have to special order this. At home, you usually use like 3 to 6%. Here we've got 35%. Once she's done with that, perfect. You didn't spill a single drop. Are you a chemist? No. You should be? Okay. No. All right, so now I'm going to have you take our dish soap, put it all the way in there. I use Dawn dish soap. There's no chemical reason why. I just love that they save penguins, and penguins are my favorite animal, so go Dawn. We'll do that. Anyone else penguin lover? Yes? Rock hoppers? Oh, okay. Those are the best kind. They jump. They have like little yellow hair that go like this, and they just jump everywhere. They're the cutest things in the world. Okay. All right, so now we need to add some food coloring. It is gold and blue, so we're going to embrace that, okay? I'm a little worried it's going to look Michigan-like, which is my undergrad, so I just am going to see. We've got green, looks too Michigan-like, okay? So you've got two versions of blue. Do you want like the turquoise or the darker blue? I like Notre Dame. Okay, perfect. And then we've got the gold. It's yellow, but you're going to have to use your imagination. Dump in as much as you want, and you can put it down the sides or right in the center, whatever you feel like. Perfect. A little bit more. What's going to happen when we put blue and yellow together? Oh, good. Okay. Whew. I'm so glad. You never know people, right? Did they listen in class? All right, perfect. I like it. All right, so I'm actually going to do this next part, but I'm going to have you do one more thing before you run away from me. So this last thing is I'm prepping my catalyst. So this is potassium iodide. You can buy this right off of Amazon. That's where I get mine. I like it. It comes in a special container. I know it's pretty pure. You're going to shake it up for me. Don't put it in here yet. Just shake it up over there. Okay. If you do this one, I like to dissolve it right in the moment, so I have like a hot catalyst. But is it hot when you touch that? No. What does it feel like? It's cold. So remember how we talked about fire being exothermic? What do we think this is? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, I've never had so many people say the right answer. That is amazing. Okay, yes, endothermic. And so something that's endothermic is cold to touch. It sucks the heat energy out of its environment, and so it feels cold to the person. All right, so let me see how you did. Great, totally great. Okay. And let's just have you take a step. Yeah, vigorously. And just take a step. No, you're totally fine right there. Okay. So we're just going to have the catalyst. I'm adding it here to the peroxide. In theory, we're going to see a decomposition reaction. So let's see what we can get here. Oh, perfect. That'll work. Isn't it cute? I love it. All right. Give it up for our volunteer. Just dump it right here. Yeah, whatever. All right, so that was an exothermic reaction. You can sometimes see the heat waves. Are you able to see that? They're right here. So it's an exothermic reaction. What we did is we take hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. We added the catalyst, potassium iodide, breaks apart the hydrogen peroxide, releases the oxygen gas, and that oxygen gas is what's trapped inside of the bubbles. Now, remember how I said the soap doesn't matter? It does a little bit. If you do this one, you want to avoid natural soaps. Natural soaps are usually those clear ones that you can find at the supermarket. So those natural soaps don't have as much surfactant in there. The surfactant is what is going to help us trap the gas and give us lots of bubbles. Did you like that one? Yes? And I didn't hit your ceiling, so you're fine. All right, so I've got one more for you. And this is one of my favorite ones ever. It takes just a second to set up. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to talk to your neighbor, and I want you to explain why you love science from the bottom of your heart, okay? But 30 seconds, I'll call you back together. You all are in the splash zone. You're in the splash zone. So if you stay here, there's a very good chance you're going to hit with something hot or cold, nothing in between. Won't hurt you, but you might get hit. So this is your moment to move if you don't want to stay here. Okay. You might hit. I don't think so, but you are technically, especially you are technically in the splash zone. It's hot or cold. There's nothing in between. So if that's, just water. Yep, just water. And like if there's a laptop or anything, I'm just going to put it, there we go, all good. Same thing with you too. You are technically in my splash zone. I don't think I'm going to hit you, but there is a chance. It's either hot or cold. There's nothing between. So this is your 30 seconds to relocate or just stay. The big thing is just don't have like a laptop out. You seem fine. Yeah. All righty. Okay. All right. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, say go Irish. Irish. Perfect. Oh, you guys are so much better than elementary school students. That's awesome. Okay. All right, so for my last one, this is literally my favorite experiment. Usually people ask, like, it's the breathing the fire, right? Which I love. I do love that. I'm a pyromaniac deep into my core. But there's something about this experiment that just brings me so much joy. So I want to share it with all you. Thank you for everything you do for this university. I am so grateful to even be part of this network. So thank you for being so nice to me on campus. Everyone's been so welcoming and kind. So this is just a little give back to you guys for being so amazing. Okay, so what I have here is liquid nitrogen. Ooh. All right, liquid nitrogen is 77 Kelvin or negative 196 degrees Celsius. For frame of reference, what is room temperature in Celsius? 25. About 25, 22, I'll take any of that. Perfect. So we have 25 degrees here, negative 200 right here. Do we stick our hands in liquid nitrogen? No. Do we drink liquid nitrogen? Absolutely not. But we do throw hot water in it. So I'm going to start real small just to kind of show you what this will look like so you can see a baby version of this. This is about 80 degrees Celsius. What temperature does water boil at in Celsius? Yes! Oh my gosh, you guys know all the things. Okay, perfect. Hot water here going in liquid nitrogen just for a little guy. Okay. Simple, boring, okay? You still want to sit there? Okay. That was your warning shot. I met both of them ahead of this, so I know they're brave. All right, y'all. They turned the smoke alarms off in this room for this very purpose. So let's see if I can deliver. Are you ready? We should say go Irish, don't you think? Okay, so let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Go Irish! You ran away. She left me. Hey. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. A little more. Hey, how are you doing? All right, y'all, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much. Someday, I really want a trap door to be there, so I do it, and then I just like whoosh, go away, right? Right? I think we can make it happen. If we make it happen anywhere, it's Notre Dame. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you.